enabling the digital economy.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael.
And my name is Cengiz, and we're Team HG Data.
Let me start with why our team name is called HG Data. HG Data stems from an old fairy tale called Hansel and Gretel, hence the initials HG.
Does anyone know the plot of Hansel and Gretel? Hansel used to trail breadcrumbs, finding their way home.
HG Data stems from that very concept, the trail of breadcrumbs. Cengiz and I will refer to this throughout our presentation. In today's society, keeping data safe in an open banking system is quite challenging. A few companies have popped up this millennium where we've seen breaches to customer information.
We see Facebook could potentially face a $1.63 billion fine under the GDPR for the latest data breach. Uber to pay $148 million for failing to disclose the data breach and protecting its clients from potential risks as a result of that data breach. We see British Airways having a massive data breach that could potentially have been fined up to £500 million under the GDPR. Lucky for them, it occurred before the advent of the regulation. We see in the first 12 months of the GDPR, projections are to indicate financial institutions could be fined up to Euro 1.5 billion.
Now, do you know if there's any breaches within your organisation?
Or the potential of breaches within the open banking.
Our platform is proactive, preventive and reactive.
Proactive, real-time visibility of where data is, where it's going, and where it's been sent. Preventive, identifying malicious parties that may potentially access that data without authorization. Reactive, a single point of integration across multiple platforms, operating systems, and organizations in a cost-effective manner.
Now, how is HG Data going to help you in open banking? It would allow to monitor the track of the flow of the data and scan for any vulnerabilities of potential data breaches. Using the trail of breadcrumbs, it would immediately respond to any data breaches and mitigation of these breaches effectively.
Tracking data on where it is, where it's been sent, and where it's been received within the open banking environment. With the use of REST API, a dynamic protocol that is able to connect across multiple operating system devices and platforms at a minimum cost.
Wait, let me just stop you there, Cengiz. You mentioned two things that were really important for me. It's cost effective, and you said you don't have to replace existing infrastructure?
Exactly. So one of the big ideas of this platform is to use existing infrastructure, as we recognize a lot of financial institutions have built layers and layers of different platforms to market new products across different markets. For example, in Australia, the big four banks have been here for over 100 years. As a result, they have a number of different multiple parallel systems running upon each other to market their products.
Now that's a perfect segue. Now we'll show you where our platform sits with an open banking environment. If you can refer to the slides, there's the big HD platform in the middle of the network. As you can see, it sits out of the financial institution, however, intertwines with that financial institution and with many participants within the open banking network. Our platform is something like a switch or a hub, something similar to the payment gateway facilitators like Visa and MasterCard, or even our homegrown FBOS Australia.
So the solution is not trying to replace current infrastructure or requires large investment, but instead it's being able to connect via API integrated across current platforms, operating systems, and different organizations. The participants' risk management will be able to download and view this data through the platform.
Our platform is designed for the future of open banking, connecting financial institutions, regulatories, and our customers. We will now go into depth of the concept, the trail of breadcrumbs.
Okay, the trail of breadcrumbs starts with the master hash ID. The master hash ID is embedded at the point of origin, the customer's account. For each transaction that occurs, a subsequent hash ID is created, linking it to the master hash ID. A transaction is defined as someone viewing the data, editing the data, or moving the data across. For each hash ID that's created, a record will be created showing the identifying features of that party accessing the data, such as the MAC ID or IP address.
I will emphasize that our platform will not store customer detailed information. A customer, signed up for that particular organization. They didn't sign up for us. What we're trying to do here is track and record participants who access this data. following that trail of breadcrumbs.
So the platform will not only protect, monitor, and track data, it will also allow customized reporting and dashboards that you see up here.
What we have here is a view of a customer dashboard. There'll be, a customer, say we'll call this customer X. They'll have many different types of accounts linked into this profile. As you can see, on the top of the section, there's ABC Bank that's linked on, GH Insurance, Def Financial Insurance, and KGL Forex. With the chart, this shows you the number of times that account has been accessed on any given day. Our platform will trigger any alerts if there's been excessive amounts of views or accesses. For example, if, say, ABC Bank, that average is 5 times per day, if that is exceeded to, say, 20 tomorrow, there'll be triggers straight to the customer and to the organisation. We also show you in the bottom section of the slide the actual transaction detail. This will tell you who has accessed your account, the user, the department, what type of operation type. Was it created, was it viewed, was it deleted and modified? We want to be visible and transparent to the customer. We also show the MAC ID and IP address following that trail of breadcrumbs model. For example, if there's a MAC ID and IP address that's not within the protocol, triggers will be alerted to the customer and to the organisation as well, and it will not be shown to that third party.
The platform is not going to try to replace current reporting within the organisation, but rather act as a point of integration across organisations, platforms, and operating systems.
In summary, HD data will keep personal data safe in a world of open banking.
The platform effectively monitors, control, and protect client data in real time. It allows us to identify malicious parties that may attempt to access that data and be able to identify potential and actual risks of data breaches.
Following that trail of breadcrumbs, it will track the data all in a single point of integration across different platforms and organisations.
The biggest premise of this platform is to use today's proven technology for tomorrow at minimalist cost. Thank you.